Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 1313 podcast, the most mediocre podcast in the Star Wars universe. I'm Jacob. Oh, there's nobody but me. Okay, Jackson is still at camp. Tommy's at work. Podcast still has to go on. So you guys are stuck with just me today. I am all alone. But that does mean I get to talk about stuff that I usually don't get to talk about on the podcast, so I might be dipping into a little bit of everything, but probably not, because today, as we're recording this, I'm going to go see the new Indiana Jones movie. One nice thing about our movie theater is they do everything the Thursday before release day, so I get it on Thursday rather than Friday. I love it, because then I get to see it before anybody else really gets to, and I feel special. That way I can really, really avoid spoilers. But before we get into that, please make sure that you are following us on all of our social media, that being Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Twitch. Make sure that you join our Discord. Link is in the description below. We have an amazing community. If you want to be a part of it, just join the Discord. It's free, no extra cost. Just join it. Also, if you want, we have a Amazon wish list. We have merch, and we have a Patreon. If you feel like supporting the podcast, Patreon is the best way to do that. And for our Gungan bosses, we do a giveaway at the beginning of every single month. And for next month, on the 1st, we are going to be giving away... We don't really know, but here's what I'm going to say. There's a whole slew of Indiana Jones products. The new Indiana Jones movie's coming out. So whoever wins, you just get to pick. You get to pick whatever, either Indiana Jones pre-order, order, any of the new Hasbro products. If it's Indiana Jones related and you want it, it's yours. So you get to win anything Indiana Jones related just because Indiana Jones, 5 is coming out, and why not? Let's change it up a little bit. Something indie related. So if you want something of that and you win, let us know. We'll get it either a pre-order for you or whatever else. We'll just get it your way. So with that, I didn't think this far ahead because usually when we go into these podcast episodes, we're going to talk about what happened this week, and then we have like a little set in stone kind of idea of like where we're headed for this. But usually that's a brainstorming between me, Tommy, and Jackson, or just me and Tommy, or Jackson and Tommy, whoever's on the show that week. So for this week, with it just being me, I was like, oh, maybe I could talk about like some Marvel stuff since that's it's Wednesday. I didn't even watch Secret Invasion episode 2 yet. I was like, I talk about some Marvel stuff because usually we don't really talk about that on the podcast. Or I could talk about some Indiana Jones, but maybe we save Indiana Jones for next week after the movie came out. We can do kind of like a recap because, to be honest, if Star Wars is like number 1 for my childhood, but Indiana Jones is number 2, partnering number 1. Indiana Jones was a huge part of making me who I am today. Harrison Ford was my favorite person of all time, even though in 5th grade, I wrote to him as Han Solo, and he didn't write back to me. But my friend wrote to him as Indiana Jones, and not only did he respond, but he also signed a picture for him, and I will always be salty about that. But I digress. Maybe I'll just save Indy for next week after the movie comes out, and that way I can talk about, with other people as well, about how Indiana Jones shaped me as a person, and how the new movie was, because that'll be a fun discussion. Probably going to be spoilers in it just because why not, but also, while this is out, these things aren't out yet, but you can be looking forward to the following in the next week's whenever they come out. I have 4 reviews recorded, maybe something to do with these fellas right here. I also did a review on the Rebel Sabers NeoPixel I got at ICC, just because I wanted to do a full in-depth review of it, give it like what it deserves, I think, and a shout out to Rebel Sabers. I hope maybe someday we can be partnered because I love your product so much. So that was a lot of fun, and Monday may or may not be the comeback of Tika's training post, but just with me, I don't know. You're gonna have to wait and see. Nothing is certain. Live every day. But with that, nothing really happened to me this week other than yesterday I was driving and I was in the left lane and I needed to be in the right lane, and there was a truck right here So I said, you know what? I'm gonna merge over, and I'm just gonna speed up and go ahead of them because there's people behind them I won't be able to get in. So I go a little faster, and I do what I always do. I make sure that I'm clear in my right mirror, and I make sure I'm clear in my rear view. So that way there's like no gap. I make sure I'm clear between those two, and then I merge. And then this truck starts riding my tailgate, and I'm like, oh, guy's just a jerk, I guess, whatever. I get to the next stoplight. This dude, he's about my age. He's buff. He's wearing a green cutoff t-shirt. He looks like he works in lawn care. He has blonde hair down here, tied it back in a bandana. He just comes up to my window and he's like, why'd you cut me off? Why did you? And I was just like, I'm thinking to myself, I had a ton of room between me and this guy. There's no way I like narrowly like just got ahead of him like an a-hole, because I try not to do that. I was like, there's no way that happened. So I lower the window down, I crack, and I go, what's up, man? Because I'm just like, I'm not gonna like argue with him. He's like, you cut me off. What the hell is wrong with you? And I'm just like, I just need to get in this lane, man. He's like, do you want to fight? And I just look him in his eyes, and in this tone, I just go, not particularly. And he just storms back to his car and gets in. And I was just kind of like, cool. So that happened. So that's pretty much the only interesting thing that happened to me this week, is some guy tried to fight me. Road rage, I guess. I've never had that happen to me, so that's a first. But other than that, yeah, this week's been pretty normal. I've just been working. I got Delilah to watch all of the Indiana Jones movies, and if you saw in the Discord, I built the Raiders of the Lost Ark set. It's fantastic. So we went through all the movies. I'm all like Indiana Jones'd up. I'm excited. I got my sleazy little outfit picked out for tonight for the movie. Because I'm usually not the guy that's like, oh, it's all like wear suits and go to the Despicable Me premiere, but I'm dressing up a little bit for this, just because we haven't had a Lucasfilm project in the theaters, at least a new one, in forever, and this is a big deal for me because I love Indiana Jones. So, I'll be all gussied up for that. But I want to talk about real quick the state of kind of like Hasbro Distribution. I know, a figure topic on the main episode. We usually don't do this. We usually save this for Tikas. But I am a wee bit concerned when it comes to the distribution of Black Series now. I think we're going to go into another drought where figures are going to be underproduced, extremely hard to get, and you're basically only going to be able to find them online, never in store. Because we went through a period where they were all hitting stores relatively easily, and you could find stuff, but all you were finding now is you're finding the entire last wave of Kenobi figures, and you're finding archive stuff, and everything that's on pegs is just, you have like full pegs, peg warming, and like of Reva and Fifth Brother, and it's bad because now we're getting mass quantities to Ollie's, which is fun if you want to get any of those figures for cheap. But I've seen one time that Darth Maul wave with Migs and Grief Karga and the Season 7 Darth Maul. I've seen that in store once. And it was at FYE, and I wasn't going to pay FYE prices for it because you're still able to pre-order it. But I like hunting for figures. That's the way I like to get my stuff. I'd rather not pre-order everything just because I live in a town where there's not, I feel like everywhere is like this. There's not really a whole lot to do. And usually my fix of fun is I go figure hunting. I know I live a sad life, but that's what I like to do. I like to hunt for my stuff. So I'd rather not just buy everything online unless I absolutely have to. But the problem is now I think we're going to start to see what happened with the Ezra and Redbox Captain Rex wave, where we're going to get everything slowed down and underproduced, and we're going to start that I bet that Darth Maul in about a year and a half is going to skyrocket in price, just because people that are like me that hunt for it in person never found it, and we were just like, oh well, I guess I can always get it some other time. But once it's gone online, I feel like that figure is going to go up and up and up, just because I feel like we've had too much sitting on shelves for too long, And I think they overproduced the last two waves just because there was a really big interest, especially at the end of COVID, when everybody started getting, like, they got the stimulus checks and things like that, so that people were spending money on stuff that they usually wouldn't spend it on, like Black Series and collectibles and things like that. So I think there was a huge uproar in that, and especially for people like us that really got into the hobby. Now it's there's a lot of people that are picking and choosing more what they're getting. Not a whole lot of people like what's coming out. So we're really just gonna have to see. I predict that it's basically to be like a drought for the next couple waves, because we got two reveals today. We had Indiana Jones reveals yesterday, but I've never seen an Adventure Series figure on the peg at Target. I've only seen like Belloc at GameStop, which is depressing. But I've never seen any Indiana Jones stuff at Walmart, so I don't know how that distribution's going about, if they're just not getting it, if everything's Target exclusive. Not sure there. Every time I see anything, it's always the old Kenobi wave and the Return of the Jedi anniversary stuff, and that's about it. So we're going to have to see where Black Series is heading in the future, especially with distribution with Hasbro. Once again, I'm just predicting that we're going to see a huge slowdown. Figures are going to be very hard to find. And I think personally, everything that we're seeing in the next couple waves is going to be so underproduced. These are going to be really high ticket figures. I feel like their aftermarket price are going to be relatively high, especially for any of the Clone Wars figures that are coming out, because you're only going to be able to get those online. You're never going to see them in stores. They're going to be pretty hard to get. But also with that, when it was last Friday when I posted the figure hunting video with Hybrid, and if you haven't watched it yet, please go watch it. It was a nice vlog, because figure hunting is fun and I do it all the time. I just need to vlog it more. But we found at the end of the night Star Wars Rivals, which is a game by Funko, which is street dated for September apparently, so we kind of got lucky finding those. But we found those. We decided to get a couple boxes, and we played a couple rounds of it. Excuse me. And we had a lot of fun with it. And I've been sitting on this idea for a little bit, but I really want to start a Star Wars tabletop kind of series where we do different games, different things like that, like Star Wars Trivia Pursuit, the Star Wars Rivals, a Tactics, things like that. And I feel like that'd be a lot of fun, just to get different creators into the space. Maybe like do some high stakes sabacc games. But that's definitely something I'm in the process of working out. So please, in the comments below, let me know what you think of something like that. What games you would want to see, how you want things done, if you want there to be like certain rewards for things, or like if you lose you want there to be punishments or things like that. Something to spice things up. I want this to be a show that's branching kind of the 1313 brand out a little bit more, because we have our toes in a lot of things. We do podcasts, we do news sometimes, we do reviews, we have a gaming site on Twitch right now, we do live action skits, vlogs, and now it's like, if I feel like we can move into tabletop, that's another realm that we can get into before we start going really hard in the paint, maybe on the gaming side, and we start doing like best of videos or things like that. But that's something that's coming down the line eventually. I'm rather excited for it. We'll just have to see what happens with that. It's definitely going to happen someday. Soon, I hope. Not soon, we'll have to see. Just because that's going to be recording on top of this, and if I want to get Tika's back up and running on top of that, then we have another thing where it's going to be getting people together, and it's already hard, especially with Tommy working full-time now, and the way that his schedule works, it's going to be hard to find days to get everybody together. So we're just going to have to see about that, especially during the school year. Maybe towards the end of summer, we'll do like a trial period where we do like a couple weeks of it, see how it goes, see how the response is, and then we'll go from there, see if we need to drop one thing to pick up another. But I'm giving y'all all the insider tea today, of all the ideas inside my pee-wee little brain of things that I want to happen and eventually. Ooh. no midriff for you. You gotta pay extra for that. But I definitely had something that I also wanted to touch on, because the nature of this episode is that it's going to be shorter. Oh yes, so that project I was working on for Numa Productions, the Voice of Men trailer, it isn't out yet. It'll be out eventually. The second that it's out, please be sure to go support it. There's also, they have a merch store that's helping fund the project as well. If you want to help make this movie a reality, I would appreciate it, because this is something I get to be a part of. If you want to see me be in a movie, or at least help out with a movie, they have a merch store open. I'll put the link in the description. I hope I remember, because I'm terrible at remembering these things. It'll be linked down below if you want to go and buy some merch from them. I think the store is only going to be open as of this episode coming out. It's only going to be open for one more day. It's only open for the month of June. So it'll be closed soon. So if you do want to get anything, they have some pretty cool stuff in my opinion. Jump on it immediately, because it's not going to be up for much longer. So that's happening. Other than that, in Indiana Jones and all that fun stuff, there's not a whole lot going on here at the 1313 complex. We're getting really close to that 1,000 subscriber mark. Please, if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe your goldfish and your 17 different alt accounts to the 1313 podcast, so we can hit 1,000 sooner. We definitely want to do some sort of celebration for 1,000. We have a couple ideas hanging in the air of giveaways and things like that we want to do to just say thank you to all of those on the interwebs that support us as a podcast, especially if we get to 1,000 mark, because then we can start to worry about channel memberships and things like that. And hopefully once we hit that 1,000, we'll start to get recognized a little bit more, and we'll start to hit another climb. We got ErieCon coming up end of September, beginning of September. I don't remember the date off the top of my head. I'm terrible with dates, if you can't tell already. So that's coming up soon. So if you want to come meet us, you want to come hang out, and you want to just spend a day in Erie, Pennsylvania, or the weekend, make sure that you come up. It's a whole lot of fun. We treated everybody to, we did dinner last year. We did a cookout at our place, and we showed people the 1313 room. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if, depending on how many people come up, we might not be able to do that, just because. But we definitely want to do. We try to make it as special as possible, and the con was a whole lot of fun. It was a great way to meet people in the community, and I'm hoping we can do something like that. Get the same outreach, I guess, that we had last time again. I also hope eventually we can start reaching out into different cons and getting booths at other conventions and things like that set up. I feel like that'd be fun. That would be very fun. But I think I've wasted enough of your time just hearing me talk. I don't really have a whole lot to talk about this week. It's weird. We're in the Star Wars drought, but Indiana Jones is coming up. But I don't want to talk about Indiana Jones yet until after the movie comes out, and I can talk about it with other people. But for this moment in time, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the 1313 podcast. Short and sweet, just Jacob. Let me know what you guys are thinking about the new Indiana Jones movie. If you saw it already, let me know what you thought. If you're excited to see it, let me know. Because I'm hyped. I'm so hyped. But thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the 1313 podcast. Socials all linked down below. Numa Production stuff down below. Patreon, wish list. You get the idea. Discord. See you guys next week. Hopefully it'll be more than just me. Maybe it'll be me, the intern. Maybe it'll be me, the intern Tommy. Maybe it'll just be me and Tommy. We'll have to see, because we're taking it as it goes, y'all. We're taking it as it goes. Everybody have a safe rest of your week. Enjoy life. Don't breathe in the Canadian smog that's been blowing down the East Coast once more. Yeah. Peace.